light workers, wellness fam, Sangha group, and beyond. Namaste. I'm Danielle Virya here with the Holistic Harmony Tribe, filming this segment here for all of you seekers that are searching for more information regarding the energy that we're sitting in with the upcoming full moon, the first week of August, the 3rd into the 4th. So the moon sitting in the energy of Aquarius during that time, sun sitting in the sign of Leo. So happy birthday to the Leos that are out there like myself. This energy of Aquarius is really about finding a greater understanding within yourself, creating the space to hear, see, and feel it. So think of it as an invitation to activate the change, to not move towards listening to the narration in your head that you're so used to hearing, right? That self-talk that sometimes is not so forthcoming or positive, and rather creating some space between those thoughts to hear the answers and the information from a bigger source than just what's stuck here in the mind. So for those of you that are new to my energy reports and my moon meditations, these are astrological insights to give us information on what it is that is occurring around us energetically, because a lot of times we feel it and sense it, intuitively know, or, instinctively know that there's just something that's pulling me towards this direction, or making me want to call this person, or, something feels off or something feels right. And just allowing us to tune in to the energy that is present so that we can answer the call when it's being given to us, and really just listen to the guidance that is truly out there if we just take a pause and almost think of it as when you're praying for answers. For those of you that, are advocates of the power of prayer, or whatever it is that you use to question or seek or search for guidance. If you're always speaking and asking questions and never leaving space for the answer to come, how will you ever hear it? And so the energy that we're sitting in right now is truly geared towards creating the room and the change so that we can stop going back to the old habits and start to create new ones so that our reality looks and feels different than we've ever known. So this being a really, really powerful time, this month in particular, this moon in particular, all of the moons are important. They affect us all, no matter what your moon or sun sign are. So for those of you that are not aware of your natal chart or unsure of where signs reside in your natal chart, it's okay. This message also will find you when you're ready. So if you're not seeing it leading up to the full moon or during, and perhaps catching it after, all good. You're seeing this message exactly when you're supposed to. So the way in which the full moon occurs this month specifically is 11 degrees, the moon resides in Aquarius, and 11 degrees, the sun sits in Leo, right? So that's how we get that illumination of the moon, is by its being fully lit through the sun, through the light of the sun. So that 1111, for those of you guys that are aware of that code, cosmic code, I believe I have an older video about 1111 somewhere on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out, if you're unsure. But 1111 is a really powerful gateway. It's governing the portal of inspiration. 11 is the number of inspiration. So this is a time when the dark and the light are really becoming one unit to help create a new vision. So it is important to really examine your shadow side at this point, because by lighting it up and really looking at it and seeing what things about yourself could really use to be changed, it will give you a different perspective if you choose, to really make different choices and bring you down a more lighted path. So this vision of change really just allows us to understand our shadow side so we can see how to progress in spite of the darkness and instead transcend because of it. Recognizing it as part of the whole, right? Not even separating it dark and light, but just recognizing it as part of the whole. That's how we get to that higher elevation. And so it's really about bringing polarities into harmony. So you can think of that as masculine and feminine, dark and light, et cetera, yin and yang, all of those polarities, they're coming into harmony with this energy. And what that means is that you're going to be called into the present moment, allowing a rapid awakening to occur. Again, why the 1111 portal is so interesting, because the way in which this energy guides us really allows us to see the bigger picture so that we can choose the higher route and ascend into an elevated vibration. Waking up to the multidimensions that exist within the earth. Because there are frequencies in which we reside. And so the more fear-based, unworthiness, doubtful feelings and thoughts that run through the mind, the lower the vibration we will be in. And the more of that we will then draw towards us. Like a vortex. Because we are all like vortexes of energy. Spinning wheels of light, the chakras are, that run along the spine, that actually draw energy in and disperse it into our bodies. And that is essentially what drives us, right? That energy is what moves us. So if that energy feels doubtful, and if that energy feels fearful, and just, holding you suppressed in a lot of ways, then that is the way in which you move through the earth, and therefore what your energy stamp is on others as well. So the whole point of this information and also the meditations that I guide is to really just allow us to be aware of this, to again pull us into the present moment, because the more information we have about this, the more aware we are about what energy we're sitting in, then when we do make those choices that are reflective of old habit patterns, we can catch it in the moment and choose to have the next moment be different than that. Right? So in other words, when you stub your toe and then get angry about it, and then everything just looks and feels that way thereafter, where you're just kind of ticked off and, feeling like a victim in that moment, you can really allow yourself to see it for what it is. Sucks in the moment. It's all good. Let it go. Let it stay there. You don't have to live in that pain moving forward. And then you can just continue to go on about your day without having to live in the I'm in a bad luck phase, or, there's just not my day today, just all these things just not going my way. Maybe they are going your way. Maybe they're there to wake you up. Maybe they're there to, bring you back to the present moment so that you can choose wisely moving forward. So practicing your mindfulness is what's going to allow you to be more in that space, so that you can have less painful moments to bring you back to the present moment and instead have more pleasurable ones. So if meditation's not your thing, all good. Never too late to start a practice. I have a Sangha group that meets on Monday nights, where I teach not only just how to meditate and what will help you get there physically, but also mentally, by just visiting topics that stimulate the mind and help you grow in different ways to be more open to it. There will be a second round of Sangha meeting on Monday nights starting in September. So we do it 2 months at a time. And really, it helps to create a self-awareness practice on a weekly basis that will keep you in the present moment once again. So all of these things are tools in which we gather to help us really live in that space more often than not. That's what my main purpose with these videos and all of the workshops and stuff like that I do are meant for, just to keep you in the present moment. No one's perfect. Everybody has struggles. It's never going to be a perfect practice. Otherwise, it wouldn't be one. So, remember that practice just creates permanence. We're never at the top where we can't grow anymore, because then we've limited ourselves to even beyond that space. And, it's never a lost cause either. Like, it's always just important to stay in your practice, because every day you're absorbing more and more instances that live inside of you that you then navigate from. So kind of big language for those of us that are not familiar with these mind frames and, ways in which to kind of regard how you see life. But if you're joining me for the first time, this might just be your call to start to examine things in this way, which again is what we're doing with this moon. So Aquarius being representing freedom and breakthroughs. So helping each other to experience the highest vibration is realistically what this week is going to bring about, and stimulating the desire to explore and actually be like an adventurer of your life rather than just being defeated by it, being inspired by source. Aquarius rules the higher mind and therefore allows us to see the bigger picture. So again, the shadow side of that would be fear of engagement, not wanting to be involved or play our part as we move into this new earth that we're elevating into. So you're encouraged during this time to immerse yourself in activities that are fulfilling and really set you free as you just learn how to trust and surrender. Past experiences are not going to help you navigate forward, right? Because we already know what that outcome will be because we've lived through it already. So we're not looking to use references that once helped guide us, because we're already at the result of that, the outcome of that. And so instead of being attached to that, just allowing yourself to really move forward by listening to your gut instinct and following what feels best for you, and not allowing other people's opinions or societal norms to sway your opinion about your choices. This is a present moment awakening that's allowing you to let go of the security blankets that have kept you safe thus far. So I myself can speak on a personal level here. For those of you that know, many of you know, many of you don't know, my dad is in the process of transitioning. He is in hospice, and so I abruptly had to leave New York to go down to Florida so that I could say goodbye and set my mom up, the arrangements, so on and so forth. And so my habit pattern during a time of immense change, sadness, sorrow, pain, would be to gravitate towards comfort foods. And that is like my security blanket, because it's just always there for me. I have control over it. I can, have it however I want, no matter what's going on. And it'll help me kind of be removed from the feelings that I have during that time. Sometimes it's also alcohol, right? Just helps you numb out a little bit. Have a glass of wine, feel, something other than this pain that, is unavoidable. So rather than moving in that direction to cope with what I have going on right now, I'm choosing the opposite, getting back into my intermittent fasting and, being really mindful of having that part of my life in order when everything else in my life is out of order. Because going to a state that's a hotspot right now with COVID means that I had to come home and quarantine and be out of work again for a number of weeks. not favorable when I just came off of a time when I already had that for a few months. And so having to make choices as to how to navigate through this effectively while not remaining strong by staying numb and ignoring the feelings, but remaining strong by actually feeling the feelings and being an intricate part of the process and taking my time to heal, looking at the quarantine period as a blessing that I don't have to return to work right away when I'm not in a good headspace for it, rather than, oh my God, how can I afford this? What am I going to do? I can't believe I have to be out of work. Getting angry at the world, getting angry at the government, getting angry at everything. The state of Florida, not even going there. It's not necessary. And it's not going to do anything for me. So I reclaim my power by really understanding what brought me to a place where I can see the bigger picture and make the changes that I feel I'm ready to make in my life by using this energy and allowing it to be in my favor. And it quite honestly took me a number of years to be able to get to a level where I'm able to even talk about this during a time like this, where normally I would want to withdraw and ignore everyone and have my space and veg out and, all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm doing that on some level, but it's a different degree and a different caliber than I normally would, so that I can make it be a healthy habit for me rather than one that leads to detriment. Because it's harder to climb out of a deeper hole, So whatever you have going on in your life doesn't have to be that extreme. That just happens to be what I'm sitting in right now. But whatever you have going on in your life, it's just as important. It matters just as much. It is just as much of an experience to use to be able to guide you to look at yourself and just see what's going to make you more comfortable in a healthy way, so that as things occur that are outside of your control, you can find that inner peace a little bit faster with a little bit more ease. So the ways in which we work on this is, again, through our level of awareness, allowing the conversations that the energy is having around us to be had through that space that, you can create through your meditation. Everybody's meditation is going to look and feel different. I always recommend just sitting in stillness and noticing how challenging that may be for 5 minutes, for 7 minutes, for 10 minutes. And then surrounding yourself with more like-mindedness that will help you stay in a conversation of elevation. So, having a meditation practice is really healthy to start to cultivate that if you're struggling figuring out how. Picking up a hobby that really calls to you, that maybe you've been drawn to embrace, or maybe even leaving one behind and starting something new. Figuring out what you're resisting, what you're hanging on to, and what's stopping you from releasing and letting it go. Those are some of the things that you can journal, perhaps. And then asking yourself, what is the new direction that you're moving towards, so that you can create a clear-cut picture of what you're moving towards. I like to use vision boards for this kind of exercise, just because when you have a clear-cut picture of what you're trying to achieve, it'll help you make better choices to get closer to it. And sometimes what you're thinking you want to achieve or be the outcome is like minute in comparison to what you actually gain, because you've made these monumental strides to move towards a picture that was actually limited because of where your capacity was at that time. And maybe you're ready for something even more than that, that the universe thinks you should have. So really just examining all of these shadows, all of these lightnesses, allowing them to marry. And working on yourself will be the first step to creating a change in humanity, honestly. Because if every person walked around with a little bit more inner peace, a little bit more self-awareness, a little bit more mindfulness, and a personal practice of it, they would probably be much less concerned with what is happening in the whole, and therefore can possibly help to make a better change in a different way. So not saying to be completely disconnected from all of the things that need to be fought for in regards to freedoms and rights on a human level, but rather not passing judgment how other people are handling it, and instead just taking the time and the effort to do your part and what you think is best and right and going to be the most positive impact. So I hope this message reaches you in good health, good spirits, and I will be conducting a virtual meditation on Zoom for this energy on Sunday night at 8 p.m. I have invested in some new singing bowls, so we're going to use some sound therapy during this meditation, and it's just going to be, again, activating us, giving us the invitation to activate this new perspective, this new level of awareness, this new spaciousness, so that we can really truly invite some beautiful things to come for the rest of the month and even the rest of the year. So if you want more information about that, the link will be down below. If you have any questions, comments that you would like to share, please feel free to leave them at the bottom of this video. I'm sure that you are not alone and can perhaps engage in a conversation with others that share in the same thoughts as you or the same questions as you. Thank you so much to everybody who's been reaching out in regards to my family and myself to, check in and see how I'm doing. I really, really love you guys so much. And, I'm attending to every message as best I can with my whole heart, as soon as I can. So thank you guys so much again for all of your love and all of your support. Thank you, Sangha Group, for my beautiful edible arrangement. It's amazing. And until we meet again, guys, namaste.